You can just start off by you introducing yourself and saying what agency you're working for.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Are you
then
going to be asking the questions?
I'll be asking. Yeah.
Okay.
So go anytime you're ready. It's already.
Okay.
I'm already flowing.
All right.
And try to look this way if you don't mind. So
I should look at you.
look at me. Yeah. Both ways. Okay.
We start?
Yes, please.
Okay. My name is Shamiso Najira. I'm Deputy Director, responsible for climate change at Environmental Affairs Department in Malawi, under the Ministry of Natural Resources, Energy and Mining.
Okay. Now to our first question. Have you developed a NAP process? If so, where are you in the NAP process? And what are the country's main achievements so far?
Yeah, government of Malawi embarked on its national adaptation plan process, and the process was launched in 2014. In 2016, we developed our NAP roadmap, which is a comprehensive approach to the NAP development process, separating out the key elements of the process and identifying the targets, milestones, and timelines for the steps that will be involved in the NAP process. And immediately after the roadmap, we also did a NAP stock taking, which gives a baseline upon which the NAP process will be built. Recently, we've just received funding. We submitted our proposal to receive funding for the readiness, and it was approved to the tune of about 2.4 million.
It's usually up to 3 million.
Up to 3
right?
million, yes.
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 So I understand you haven't exactly developed the NAP. You haven't advanced just yet. So, but you're heading in that direction.
We are heading in that direction.
So if you could maybe speak a little bit about the challenges along the way, the process getting there, and what irritated you, let's say, or frustrated you the
I
most.
think the challenges that we faced mostly is issues of maybe availability in terms of coordination, because we are the coordinating institution. So sometimes participation of the sectors is a problem, and even financing to hold those meetings has also been a problem. And in terms of prioritization of the sectors, and another thing that I've seen is there's a lot that comes up that requires your attention. We started the NAP process, before we know it, we had to do the NTCs, and then you had to do, so it's like it's a lot of things that require your attention that may, make the other issues a bit irrelevant, or maybe not being seen as a priority. But now that we have this readiness money, we are geared to proceed.
Okay. Yeah,
we just also did our NAP framework recently, so it also outlines the steps that we
this is with GCF, I'm assuming, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Because I developed a few of them myself for a few countries, and I can maybe share the frustrations.
Yeah.
In the sense that it always comes back and forth.
Yes.
And from my experience, I don't know about how it is in Malawi, but the climate rationale was always a big issue. And the concept of additionality, and separating the difference between a development proposal and a climate proposal.
Exactly.
So maybe you could speak a little bit about that, if there were any problems in terms of developing this climate rationale. Did you know how to do it, and what did you do to get the money basically from GCF? How did you prove to the GCF that you are climate ready, as they say?
I think because of the we had in place our enabling policy framework. We have the National Climate Change Management Policy, and we also have we developed an investment plan on climate change. So I think that put us on a better standing, that at least we have the enabling environment and policy framework in place. So
those are always,
that helped a bit.
Those are always these kind of funny words they use, right?
Yeah.
Enabling environment. and all
enabling
that.
policy.
Enabling policy.
Yeah.
So, from your experience, then, is there anything that you could share to other participants in terms of lessons learned or best practices? To something that you could tell other countries that if they do this or if they follow this, they have a greater chance of succeeding in getting a NAP or a lesson learned kind of thing.
I think one lesson that I've learned is to try and integrate or consolidate some of the priorities that are already in place. Most times I think countries think we have to do something new, but like for instance, I talked of the investment plan. Those priorities were already in place. So most times countries will want to develop something different, something new, go through the process again of consulting the sectors and all that. But I think it's important to just make use of what you have. You can develop that further to just now get it more focused onto the long term, the medium term and long term, and do all the processes within the priorities that you've already developed. Because in our NDCs we also have priorities. We have the NAPAs. You can, as countries, you can develop them to the longer term. You know, I think that's one thing that maybe countries need to start thinking of, instead of developing something new all the time.
Yes, of
because
course.
even the sectors get tired now. We over-consult them. Yeah.
And I suppose awareness raising is a big issue.
Yes.
Another question is a big theme is the subnational level. And how did you engage the subnational level to integrate adaptation from the national into the...
We've not reached that stage.
We have
yet.
not reached that stage.
No.
Okay.
But we have a NAPCO team in place,
Okay.
which we established, and it involves the private sector and all the key sectors that we think they are important in the NAP process. But we also do the vertical integration. We already have teams in the districts. From time to time, we also engage them. After the NAPCO team has met, we also engage them to just apprise them of what is happening.
Okay. A few more questions, and then we'll release you from your chair. One comes from the leg, because lately they've been focusing on the NDCs rather than the NAPs itself. So I was wondering, how do you see the relationship between the NAP and your NDC?
I think for Malawi, our NAP and the NDC will be very closely aligned and linked, because the sectors are the same, the priority sectors are similar, and the coordinating institution is the same, Environmental Affairs Department. So we'll be able to make sure that they are closely linked, so that by implementing our NAPs, we'll also be able to implement some of our NDCs and vice versa. So we'll make sure that these documents are talking to each other and we're implementing them closely together.
Okay. And finally, how is your NAP used or will be used as a strategic instrument for furthering adaptation planning and implementing a pipeline of projects that will be financed through domestic and external funding? Because as you said yourself, the whole point of the NAP is for it to not just be a document. Yeah, it's supposed to be
implemented, yes. For Malawi, we'll make sure that we integrate this adaptation planning into what we call district development plans. So at the district level, these DDPs are the strategic documents that are used to mobilize resources, and it contains projects that need to be implemented within a given time period. We'll also make sure that we intend to integrate adaptation planning into the Malawi Growth and Development Strategy. This is now at the national level. Right now we are implementing MGDS 3, and for the first time climate change has come out as a key priority area in this MGDS 3, and subsequent projects have also been outlined in the MGDS3. So we'll continue engaging with the MGDS team to make sure that adaptation projects are also part of this MGDS so that they get implemented. And we are also closely working with Malawi Investment Promotion Agency, MIPA. It's they come up with what they call a compendium of projects within a given time period. I think it's a 5-year compendium. So we are also working with them very closely to make sure that we push in some adaptation priorities in the compendium.
Okay. And final question, aside from financial assistance, is there anything that you would like or you find you need support or assistance from institutions such as my own, whether it's UNEP or other international or bilateral institutions? Is there anything pressing that
I think what we need is maybe technical support to assist the country in trying to consolidate and put together these priority areas within the sectors, because they are there. Sometimes it's just a question of putting them together and just tying the loose ends, as well as maybe issues of capacity building, where necessary, short-term training, capacitating the government. I know under the recent funding that we got from the GCF, there will be issues of capacitating the NDA, but we need to capacitate the other sectors as well. Issues of climate modeling, as we heard in the workshop, we'll need some capacity to be built as well. So mostly technical support and capacity building.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. That's it. That's all I need. That was perfect.
Yeah.